welcome back to the channel. This is Connie, and we are standing at my craft room because this is what I'm working on today. It is hard for you guys to see it, but it's a mess, and the reason I am going to work on it is because now that the colder weather is here, we're going into November soon, and I like to craft during the cool weather. After I do all my work in the barn and get my business done for the day, I like to craft. And it is not set up for holiday crafting at this point. I have a lot of junk journaling supplies in here because I do like to junk journal, but my tastes or whatever in crafting change all the time. So I may be into junk journaling for a while, and then maybe I might try something else for a while, and then maybe I might try something else for a while. So things change. And the way it's set up right now, it's just basically for junk journaling. And all of my other craft supplies are just kind of hidden, and I need them out to where I can look and see what I have, especially for Christmas crafting and things like that. So this is not going to be any kind of wow kind of decorating video, redo or anything like that. It's just going to be kind of reorganizing and cleaning. Plus I have a Cricut that I haven't been able to use in years because it is not close to, which way am I pointing? It's not close to my computer, so I can't use it. And so I kind of want to make space to put the Cricut next to the computer. That way I can hook it up and be able to maybe use it for the holidays if I decide I want to. So I don't know what this is going to be like, this video. This is something I've wanted to do for about a month. And I keep putting it off because this is a very small room and it is jam-packed with stuff. And it's going to take a lot of energy and brain power to figure out how I want to reorganize it. So it's not something that I have been looking forward to, but it needs to be done, especially if I want to craft during the winter. So this may take a couple days because what I need to do is get everything out of this room, and it's going to be all over the house. And then I'm just going to put it back little by little, and we're going to see what it looks like and if I can accomplish some sort of organizational goal. But there is no repainting or anything like that. What you see is what it will be. So I will turn you guys around and give you an overview of what this room looks like, so you get an idea of what I'm working with. Okay, we are standing in the hallway, and this is a spare bedroom. This thing has been several things since we've lived here, but it is now a craft room. I used to have a craft room out in the garage because we have a place, a room attached to the garage that was my craft room, and then that became my business out there, and then it became storage for the business, and then I got the shed, and now it is regular storage. So I'm kind of jam-packed in this little tiny room with my crafts. And I still have a lot of crafts out in that spare room that I cannot bring in here because I just have too many. So this is what we're working with. I really don't see how I'm going to be able to reorganize it a whole lot, but we're going to see what we can do, because all this stuff here is basically for junk journaling, except for the lace up there. But I got scraps of paper, I have cards, more cards, I have stamps, those are stamps. That's, I think this is junk, like just for junk journaling, you know, literal junk that I'm going to throw away. This could be the same thing, and this says scrap lace, so we have scrap lace in there. So it's just kind of a mess. As you can see, I have more junk up there. You know, when you're a junk journaler, not a Dollar Tree junk journaler or regular junk journaler, you keep things. And it's time to get rid of them. And then here is the computer. And there is my Cricut. So that is not working over there. It needs to be over here. Now, this computer is an oldie. My husband bought it for me when I first started my business. This is what I used for my business. It is slow as a dinosaur. So I ended up getting a laptop. It worked. You know, got me started. So I thank him for that. But it is slow as a dinosaur. And then I just have a bunch of stuff here. I have scrap fabric here. Just odds and ends stuff in there. I have odds and ends stuff there, all in there. And then this is a old desk. It used to belong to my mom, so that's what I use. Then I have my little setup right there. And I have my bookcase back here, which has a bunch of junk on it. Junk stuff that I use. And then I made that little thing last year, or a couple of years ago from Dollar Tree. And that holds like glue and stuff. So there's not a whole lot of places I can actually put this desk. So I think I'm going to have to keep the desk here. I'm going to keep that there. And that's going to stay there, I think, at this point. There's not a whole lot of room. And then back here, I have this big old case full of scrapbooking stuff that my husband bought me at a garage sale for $10. I really didn't want it, but he bought it. That's okay. And then this is full of wrapping paper, so that actually is going to get moved out. And then we have my little tiny closet, which I have a bunch of books that I picked up from estate sales and things for junk journaling. And then I just have odds and ends. These are my vinyls and stuff for the Cricut. So I have stuff for the Cricut, I just can't use it. And then I have odds and ends stuff down here. So as you can see, I have some Christmas stuff. I need to bring whatever Christmas stuff I have out and put it in front of me so I know exactly what I have. So, and then on the back of this door is where I keep my paints and stuff, my little paints. So as you can see, it is a very, very tiny room. And I don't have a whole lot of space to work as far as reorganizing things. But I am going to do the best I can. And you're going to go on this journey with me. Aren't you glad it's not you? All right, so without further ado, let's get started. Okay, I got you in my craft room. Now I'm going to warn you, there's going to be all kinds of different angles because it is really hard to try to figure out where to put you guys so you can see what I'm doing. So we're going to start at this angle. And my first thing I'm going to start doing is just kind of taking everything out of here. So let's go ahead. I'm going to put some music on. And that's probably what you will hear most of this video. I will come back in certain areas and talk to you guys. But if you have something to do and you don't want to sit around and watch me work and listen to the music, just put me on in the background and do what you need to do. But let's go ahead and get this started. this is where I'm at so far. I've gotten all that stuff out of there. I probably wasted more time. I'll clean that off too, for the most part. I've probably wasted more time sitting here trying to figure out how I'm going to redo this room. I guess I'm hoping for some sort of divine intervention. And I just am having a hard time here. So I'll show you what I got going on out here. This is stuff that I've pulled out so far. It's in the hallway. I know it's dark. And this is more stuff. And then I have it going all the way around. And there's more stuff. And it's starting to get in here. So, figure out how I want to get all this stuff back in there. I have 2 boxes, empty boxes, that I'm going to be throwing some stuff in and taking them out to the storage room. So I'm trying to figure out what to put in those boxes. And then I'm trying to figure out, see, the problem is I want to be able to use that down there to store for storage too, if I need to. So I don't want to really block that off before it was blocked. This cabinet, all right, so what I might be able to do, that's just personal papers. So what I might be able to do is move that cabinet over there because I'm not getting into that very often. Maybe move that over here. Put the computer on that. I had thought about moving this over here. But then I'm not going to be able to get whatever I store in these bottom 2 with my desk here. Do you see the problem I'm having? This is why it's taken me so long to redo this room. But I need to do it because it's absolutely driving me crazy. And I really don't know what to do with all that stuff in there. All right, I'm going to think about this and then I'll get back to you. Okay, friends, here we are. This is where we're stopping for the night. I've got this much stuff done, and I'm really happy with that right there. I was hoping to be able to get rid of that, but I didn't have anywhere to put my Cricut, so hopefully. And you're probably wondering why I'm gravitating towards that way. I have 2 plugs, one down there and one up here. So that was the best place I could put this desk and all that. And I still have a mess here that I'm going to go through tomorrow. These are pretty much all empty, so I have those to play with and be able to organize. Not much is going to happen on that. I'm going to take things off and clean it, dust it. It needs dusting in here really bad. That little shelf needs organized as well. And if you see, I have containers hanging up that are empty, and these 2 aren't, but I'm going to see if I can get things organized in those as well. Might as well while I'm in here. I don't remember what's in those cabinets up there. I don't think it's anything important. But I put all the sewing containers in there, and I decided to put my odds and ends craft stuff right there. This is just temporary, but this is pretty much just like odds and ends stuff for crafting. So it's getting there. It took a minute to figure it out, but I just had to talk it out with you guys, and that helped a lot. I am going to stop for the night and eat and rest. My back is killing me. And we will resume tomorrow. I still have a hallway full of stuff and a dining room full of stuff. But I warned my husband for when he comes home tonight to be careful going down the hallway because it's full. He knows me by now. So, yeah, there's that. So we got quite a bit done tonight, and we'll finish it up tomorrow, but tomorrow for you will be in just a second. Hi, dear friends. Got you up high today. This is part 2 of my room makeover, and right now I am just kind of organizing things and trying to figure out where to put everything. I don't have a whole lot left to do. I've done some of it off camera just because this would take forever, and I don't think you want to sit here and watch me do this whole thing. By the way, it is Halloween, so if you celebrate or celebrated, because by the time you see this, Halloween will be over, but for me, it's Halloween. So if you celebrated, I hope you had a wonderful and safe Halloween, and I hope all your kids got some great treats. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and get into this. I'm out here taking a break for a minute, you guys, and the leaves have finally changed for us. They're so pretty. They are on the ground. My husband and I have to do some cleanup on a weekend that it's going to be nice. It's been either very windy or cold. So hopefully this weekend we'll be able to get some of this cleaned up. But I've been waiting for the leaves to change, and they finally have. They're just absolutely gorgeous. I have an orange one way back there. Can you guys see that? That's pretty. So I just wanted to give you an update on our trees. Okay, my friends, we got it done. Yes, it is way more organized than it was. It's a lot cleaner. I have quite a few empty containers, so that's good. Both of those are empty. Then I have some in the closet there, but that's good because it gives me room to grow. I have some empty containers in there, but if you remember before, this was over there, and then that was over here, and then the printer was on that filing cabinet over there. That filing cabinet was over there, so those two just got switched, just got moved around a little bit, but you know what? It's a lot cleaner. And then, of course, when you have mismatched stuff, it doesn't look as gorgeous as, a Pinterest board, but you know what? I don't care. It is so much better than what it was, and I actually found some labels, so I'm going to actually go along later on and label all these so I know exactly what's in them, and that's just to be a time saver. And then you seen me change out the window curtain. That was just because I wanted to. I cleaned this off, this little shelf, and I papered it since I had paper left. I organized that stuff some. And I propped up my computer. That's taxes in that box, so I don't get in that box. Fortunately, that's a good thing, right? I don't need my old taxes, so I'm just propping the monitor up with that. And then same with this box. I don't use that very often, so I'm just propping up the Cricut with that. I did organize this just a tad. I'll give you a closer look. I actually made this. It's with those garden pot things that Dollar Tree had a couple of years ago, and I just glued a bunch of them together and made an organization out of it. This is just odds and ends. I have stuff for making necklaces and things like that, beads, but I kind of straightened that up just a little bit. And I kind of straightened this up a little bit. And then I moved my container that was against the wall over there. I moved it over here. And then I figure if I'm going to work out of it, then I can just move it right here and it'll be next to the desk, and then it can just live there for now. But it's just my crafting odds and ends, you know, the stuff that you gather when you have crafts. And then the closet is somewhat organized. If you remember, I had all these hanging back there. I moved them in the closet so I don't have to look at them. This was hanging over there. My books are still up there. And then all of that right there is my vinyl for the Cricut. This here is all my stickers. Not all my stickers. Some of them. I have a sticker hoarding problem. And then those two are sewing cases. Those actually belong to my mother-in-law, and they are filled with sewing stuff. And then I just put my paints in here. And then when I don't want to look at that, just close it up. And then, of course, that hasn't changed. That still holds my paints. But I am finding more brushes and stuff and more paints as I go. So I need to get in here and organize that. But that will be for another day. I do have more organization that I want to do in here. But, you know, I got all winter, so we may get in here one day and just kind of try to reorganize things. I found this. I don't know what it was for. I think it was for something that we bought and we apparently didn't use. So if I could figure out how to hang this up on here, that would be cool too. I think I just come up with an idea as I'm standing here. I don't think that will work. But I was thinking I could put some of my ribbon on here. But I was thinking maybe tie it up there. I don't know. I'm going to have to think about that. So that would be kind of cool to be able to see my ribbon. Because as you've seen, I have a lot of ribbon. So, but this is pretty much what I wanted to accomplish. I can actually get in here and craft for Christmas and be comfortable. Hopefully I can get my computer to work. It is so flippin' slow. And it was just on. It took 5 minutes just for this screen to come up when I turned it on. So that is how dinosaur. I think this is a Windows 98 too. So that tells you how old it is. But as long as it still works and as long as I can get my Cricut to work with it, I will be happy. So that's pretty much what that's used for anyways. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it's not anything wow crazy, but it was a lot of work and it makes me happy. I still have stuff out here, but it's actually going to go to storage. So I have the scrapbook thing here. I have fabric in there. I have fabric in there. I have fabric in there. That's the wallpaper. I don't have a clue what to do with. I've had it for years. And then I forgot to take those in there, but I'll take care of that. And this we're going to get rid of. Probably go in the burn pile. And then all this is wrapping paper. I have more wrapping paper to put in it. So, yeah. That's all I have for you guys today. I hope you were able to make it all the way to the end. If you did, leave me a ghost in the comments since it is Halloween. So leave me a ghost and that will let me know if you made it all the way to the end. All right, guys. So happy you joined me today and I'll see you next time. Bye.